Question: with just this piece of information, who do you think is going to be the better musician? The person who can play one really, really challenging piece of music, or the person who can play 100 really easy pieces of music? I hope your instinct is telling you that it's the person with the 100 easy pieces of music, but you might want to reflect on why that is. Now, you might have heard me talking before about piano students who really are interested in learning one piece of music. They've fallen in love with a particular piece of music and that's all they want to learn. And they're not interested in method books, they're not interested in easier pieces, they're not interested in gradually reaching a level where they can tackle a piece of music like that. They just want to go straight to that piece of music. And when I was a less experienced teacher, I occasionally worked with students like that who were convinced that they had what it takes, they would be able to do it. And they really had the determination, they had plenty of grit. But there are some things that grit and determination won't achieve for you. And skipping a lot of really important stages in skill building is one of those things. So I'm sure as you listen to this, you're not that kind of student. You know that you need to put in the work, you know you need to get to your goals gradually. But you may also be falling prey to a version of this thinking, and that is you may only ever be working on pieces that you find challenging. Now, they're not way out of your league, they're just a little bit above your level, and that's really important that you work on pieces that are expanding your boundaries and pushing you a little bit and teaching you the skills that you need. But my argument today is that if that's all you're working on, you're doing yourself a disservice. So when you're learning to play piano, you're building up a lot of skills simultaneously. You're learning to read music, you're developing coordination, you're developing lots of different techniques, and you need all those things to be really well developed in order to progress. But one of the most effective ways of developing those skills is by practicing them in a lot of very different environments, different contexts. So for example, if you're playing a piece of music that contains an arpeggio in the key of D major, but that's the only place you've ever come across that, you may find it difficult to conceptualize that piece of information, that pattern, in another context if you haven't met it before, or if you haven't met an arpeggio in a different key and realize, oh, actually these things have something in common. So as we progress and we learn all the different skills that we need to master piano, we need to be meeting them in lots of different contexts, in lots of different pieces, and in a way that doesn't tax us too much. And the way to achieve this is to play lots of easy pieces. And by easy, I don't mean just at very slightly below where you're working at the moment. Let's say you're a grade 3 early intermediate and you're working towards your grade 4, just a slight little bit above that. So if you're doing nothing but those grade 4 pieces, then you're too limited in what you're looking at. But if you decide, oh, okay, then I'll do more grade 3 pieces, you'll actually still find that very challenging and very time consuming. So what you really want to be doing is playing lots of pieces at an elementary level, stuff that will take you a week less to learn, stuff that you can sight read almost. And if you do this, you'll find that lots of areas of your playing improve. So your sight reading will definitely improve, your rhythm reading will improve, the various techniques that you need, the coordination that you need, these things will all get better simply because you're meeting them in lots of different contexts. And there's another advantage to this as well, because if you're always only working on difficult music, it kind of takes the joy out of it. So you're robbing yourself of a lot of pleasure by not playing easy music. And there's so much really nice music out there that'll help us to stay motivated and really take pleasure in what we're doing. If you find yourself spending time online watching piano channels like mine or other videos talking about how to learn piano, it's probably because you have questions that your method book or maybe your teacher or whatever piano course you're using, they're just not answering for you. Questions like why it's taking you so long to learn a piece that looks fairly straightforward, why you can make great progress today and have suddenly lost it all again tomorrow, why it's so difficult to memorize things, why you're just not understanding how music fits together. And I completely understand your frustration because I spent many years myself in that wilderness wondering what was wrong with me. And it turns out there's nothing wrong with me. I just didn't have the answers to those questions and I didn't have the learning techniques that I needed in order to make real progress and really become a rounded piano player. And it was quite a long process to find all the different elements of learning psychology and bring them together and make them relevant to playing piano. But over time I've brought all those different elements into my style of teaching, and it gives me great joy to be able to pass them on to my students. And my mission in life is to pass that knowledge on, because I think everybody should be able to play piano if they want to. I see far too much frustration, I see people losing their self-esteem over it, I see people quitting and depriving themselves of one of life's great pleasures, and I don't want you to fall into that trap. So I've put together a series of different courses on lots of different aspects of piano playing, and they're all available over on the Cheile Music website. You can either buy them as standalone courses or you can become a member and have access to everything. And these are different from a lot of courses that you'll find online. I'm not making any huge problem. You're not going to be able to play piano in a week, like some people will tell you, or even in an hour. It is still a long process, but you will have the tools that you need in order to make meaningful progress. And you'll be able to enjoy the process much more. You'll have the tools you need to work on music that allows you to expand expand your skills, to develop confidence, and to start to think of yourself as an actual musician, which you are. You'll get solid advice on practice techniques, on developing your creativity, on understanding how music is structured so that you can take advantage of that to learn it really quickly, and loads more besides. And you can try it all out for free for 7 days. I'm going to put the link in the description. So I would really like to invite you to come over and try it out for those 7 days. If you're serious about learning piano, I really want to invite you to discover what you've been missing and how it really is possible for you to become a competent musician. Hope you give it a go. Back to the main video. Now, as I record this, we're at the start of the month of March, but at the beginning of the year I set up a Facebook group called the Cheile Music 40-piece Challenge, and I've actually only started contributing to that myself. Lots of other people are way ahead of me in it, but let me explain to you what that is, and you might want to hop in with me at this late stage, or even later on in the year if you're listening then, and take inspiration from what other people are doing there. So the 40-piece challenge is a concept that the Australian piano teacher Alyssa Milne came up with, and she started it for her students when she realised that they were getting too bogged down on difficult pieces and she wanted them to broaden their horizons too. So she set up a challenge for her students that they would complete 40 pieces within a year. And of course, as I'm recommending to you, they need to be easy pieces that you can complete quickly. And she saw huge improvements in her students, so she put it on her website and shared it with other teachers, and it's become quite a popular challenge to take on for students during the year. So I've set up my Facebook group. There are lots of other Facebook group challenges as well. I'm sure if you put in 40-piece challenge, you'll get a lot of different groups doing it. But what we do in it is we pick a piece of music, nice and easy. We work on it for whatever short amount of time we need to get it up to standards, and then we record ourselves and we post it to the group. So not only is it really motivating to see people posting a piece this week and then one next week, and they're really hitting their targets, but it's a lovely way of finding out about new music that you might not have heard before, or things that you might really like to play yourself, and that'll be within easy reach, whatever your level, because there are people really from beginners right up to advanced players in there playing all kinds of things. So I'm going to put the link in the description, and you can hop over there and feel free to join us. It's absolutely free. It's just for fun, and I guarantee that if you have a go, just start playing easier music and lots of it, all your playing will improve, including the more challenging pieces that you're working on. So I really hope to see you there, but even if you prefer to work on your own, really think about what I've said and start to look for easy music and start to take pleasure in it, knowing that not only are you adding more fun into your life, but you're also improving your musicality. I'll talk to you again soon. In the meantime, happy practicing.